It's the Plug Bus with Diego and Joss. It's the Plug Bus with Diego and Joss. It's the Plug Bus with Diego and Joss. It's the Plug Bus with Diego and Joss.
Hi everyone, my name's Goose. Welcome back to the Rodcast. Today we've got Diego and we've got Joss.
Wow.
What's up? Two honourable plug members right here.
Thank you, Goose, for having us on your fishing podcast.
This is exciting.
I really like the name. Who came up with that?
It was many renditions going over and over many different names.
I had to go through a board.
Yeah, believe it or not, Rodcast was one of the last things we thought of.
Yeah, we put it to a vote and that actually got the lowest votes, but you know.
We just went with it.
We went with it anyway.
Fuck it. No, we're being silly. We're on the Plug podcast.
The other board members died mysteriously. And somebody that looks like me without a mustache suggested Rodcast after they all
So does
died.
that mean that was also me with a mustache? Okay, pretty cool.
Okay,
I had your moustache.
Today,
universe.
we are talking about fishing, correct? And we have our good friend Goose here because we've all sort of embarked on this on this fishing journey together in like the last. When did we start?
A
few months
probably
ago.
a while ago now.
Yeah.
Like 4 months ago now.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
a
we
while.
all just started.
Yeah,
Started.
Joss has gone for his first time last weekend, so not even a week ago.
Yeah. Not my first time ever.
No.
Don't
but
throw me under the bus.
No, not your first time ever.
People be like, what? Joss has never been in nature before? What the hell?
No, never.
I've been in
but
nature,
We had a
guys.
great time. We didn't catch anything, but we had a great time, and it gave us the idea to do a Plug Plus episode about fishing.
We saw that kid catch something.
Yeah, this little kid caught like a flathead. He was,
And then the other guy threw it back on the water, and he was telling all his friends, "Yeah, I'll throw it back in." I just love the environment. What can I say? Respect animals so much.
yeah, that kid would like had a Bowie knife ready to cut it, like, just decapitate this like 10-centimeter flathead. Just, like.
Oh, good times.
So fishing, right? Or as the fishing community calls it, angling. Right?
What?
Yeah.
Angling.
I thought you were gonna say something really dumb like fishing. Or something.
No. As fishermen, you don't call yourself a fisherman. You call yourself an angler.
An angler.
Right?
Okay.
I don't know why, but it's certainly more gender neutral.
Absolutely.
So that's like my first sort of thought.
Yeah.
We can't just go fisher person.
Not that I've seen a single woman fishing yet. Have you guys?
Yeah, I guess not. I mean,
I went with Georgie.
Georgie caught a fish before you did. That's right.
She cast it in and 3 minutes later it was on and
Yeah.
she showed all of it.
So,
But-
do you want to give us the story, Goose, of why you started fishing
yeah,
suddenly?
that's a good point. There's a bit of backstory
give us the
here.
law.
Yeah.
Well, it actually happened when my roommate and obviously we all play with Manning as well.
Yeah.
Who?
Manning.
Manning.
I don't know.
New and up and coming musician, you know.
Yeah, good on him.
His grandfather handed us a bunch of. He's also my roommate, and he handed us a bunch of fishing gear that was just sitting around. And I'd never caught a fish, and I felt like I couldn't say I was a man until I went and caught a fish by myself.
I believe your dad said you're not a man until you.
Yeah, they a lot of people.
Some really deep, like seated trauma within you.
I think it was like I was self-conscious about never catching a fish, and I was like, I'm gonna make this happen. And I managed to drag at least 7 or 8 people along with me now to not feel lonely while I'm fishing.
Because I've always said for like the past, because every like Christmas holiday I go to the south coast in Narooma, and like, you know, every year I go, I end up spending a little bit more time fishing. And so I've always said after every Christmas, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go fishing this year. I'm really going to do it. And I never did up until you asked me like 4 months ago.
Absolutely.
And we've been pretty consistently.
We have been.
Yeah.
I feel like at the start I thought it'd be a really hard thing to get a lot of people to even be interested.
Yeah,
It feels
yeah.
like a really old retiree kind of thing to do. And I was just like, you know what? Why not?
I think it's
everyone has said yes.
Yeah,
And everyone's come.
Pretty much anyone you ask has been like, yeah, I'll do it. It's
just so
including
different.
Joss here. Right, Joss?
Is that like a holy shit? No way.
Well, no, not really. But like, I was waiting for the day you were like, "Can I come?" And then I woke up on that Saturday morning, that fateful Saturday morning. You're like, "Can I come?"
Wouldn't have been a Saturday morning, but sure.
Oh no, it wouldn't have been. Saturday. It was probably a Sunday.
Sunday
morning.
Arvo.
Sunday
I think
Arvo.
it was a week ago today.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. It
Yeah.
was a week ago today. So actually, that's probably a good place to start. Joss,
Yeah.
fishing.
What about
As you're the person who's gone like for the first time most recently. You know what I mean? For the first time in ages, most
The
recently.
newest to the sport.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on angling?
On angling. Yeah, I didn't know it was called that.
Fishing.
Fishing.
Angling.
What's my thoughts on fishing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
It's pretty fun, right?
Yeah, it's enjoyable.
What makes it so fun?
It's relaxing.
It is.
It's you get to be in nature, but you don't have to exert much energy at all, which is like, those are two big wins for me. Because there's nothing I love more than being in nature and not
doing
exerting
fuck all,
energy.
yeah.
Because I'm lazy and I'm unfit, so it's like perfect kind of sport for me.
Yeah. If you just put a nice like umbrella up and
Yeah.
you could sit there for hours.
And it's good for your mental health.
yeah,
you know?
it's great.
Yeah.
You like you just distance yourself from like any screenage.
Yeah.
It's like reading to me, you know, where it's
Sure,
like,
yeah.
oh, we get a moment where it's just me and whatever I'm doing, you know?
Yeah.
That's
Instead
it.
of like me, whatever I'm doing, and
It's
also
like-
the rest of the world on Instagram, you know?
It's a sport that is so quiet 90% of the time.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's really, there's not a lot going on, but for those like few seconds that there is something going on, it's the dopamine hit that you get from like feeling like tugs on your line.
You're like, it's working.
And you know, one day when you catch a fish, it's the best, right?
Yeah.
It's the best, right? I remember my fish that I caught accidentally, and I haven't caught a fish since.
What does that mean? How'd you accidentally catch
I didn't realize I had a fish on the line,
Oh.
and I started reeling it in. And up until it was like fucking like within eye shot of me, because we've been going in the like at nighttime a lot.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
when you can't see a bunch.
any. You can't
No.
even see where your line is.
No, not really.
It's ridiculous.
But it's still good fun. So I didn't realize I'd caught a fish up until it was like within eye shot. I thought it was like, I was convinced it was like seaweed or something.
Yeah, I remember you saying like, "Oh, I'm going to check if I've got something. I'm just going to
Yeah.
reel it in and see what I got," and it was a whole fish.
It was a whole ass fish. It was a whole ass fish.
And that wasn't even like, that was the first fish I'd ever seen anyone catch.
There
I'll
you
be
go.
honest.
Right,
So
yeah.
like, I just
You're
kind
like,
I was like, what? Is it that easy? And then it took me three more trips to get a fish.
It took you a while. They make you fight for it. That's
They
for
really
sure.
do.
so since you just started fishing, how many have you caught?
Look, I've probably gone fishing 10 times, maybe caught 3 fish.
That's pretty good.
I feel like it's a
yeah.
30%.
Yeah, and to be honest, 2 of them were like really tiny.
That's what counts.
You
one
still
proper fish that I could have bagged and kept.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
pretty
good.
cool.
So,
Like,
okay.
I feel like, fishing's a sport where it's like, because it's so relaxing and so chill, if you come out of it not having caught anything, it's like not the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You don't go into it's a weird game where it's like you don't go into the sport expecting to win.
Yeah,
That's it,
yeah.
that's it.
Yeah,
You just- it's like, it's literally like the coach is like, oh, it's all right, we're just playing to have fun, boys.
That's
you know?
it.
literally.
When it comes to fishing, you literally are, you know?
Remember
like,
what coach said, guys.
fake right, break left.
yeah.
Is that right? I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know what it is about fishing, but like you're so right. Like it was so. Since then, I have also gathered some heirlooms, right? And that is like 4 fishing rods from my parents because they were just collecting dust in the garage, or not a shed now, and this huge tackle box just full of shit, just full.
I was talking to my parents about this, because I was telling them I went fishing last week, and they're like, "Where'd you get like all the gear from?" And I was like, "I think Diego's parents just had it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I swear your parents just have so much stuff.
Yeah, we used to do things as a family.
We used to love each other.
We
Can you
used to
believe
love each other.
I
Yeah,
find
yeah.
it interesting how both of us have just been given a full tackle box
Yeah,
with everything.
yeah. Well,
and
Goose
rods.
got
See, that's the
I got a
thing.
whole tackle box.
I was surprised finding that out, and then I was talking to my dad about it. He's like, "Yeah, you can have my tackle box if you want." I'm
Get
like,
it.
"Bro,
Get
like,
it.
why do you have a tackle box? I've never seen you fish before." He's like, "I remember we used to go fishing up in Foster." I was like, "Yeah, I mean, like 15 years ago." What are you still doing?
Yeah. So I think the first time I went fishing like in Narooma was like the first time in well over a decade, and I don't think I caught anything that time. But I caught something the year after.
Yeah.
So, but even that first year, I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get into fishing.
You know what the other good thing about fishing is? It's like you don't have to be good.
No,
Like
that's it.
it's a very luck based sport where it's
I think
like
I feel like it's a very. I find it so interesting that that it's like a male dominated sport from what I've seen from what I've seen thus far, because
That's so true.
I love because I feel like there's so much hubris that goes into it.
Yeah.
You're like trying to figure out, do I have the right size hook? Do I have the right size sinker? Am I using
It's
the
like
right
blood,
bait?
just put it in the
Just
water.
put it in the water. You know what I mean?
Just
But but still, I'm gonna go fishing next week, and I'm gonna be like, this hook's too big, this chicken's too old, you know.
It's probably the biggest excuse sport you can think of. You know, there's a million reasons why you didn't catch a fish every time.
But like at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. You put something on the end of a line, and you might catch something.
It feels like I don't know. I don't understand how one can be good at.
You can go to the same place every day at the same time, and it's different results.
Every time. Yeah,
I feel like people who say they're good at fishing have a lot of money.
Well, that's my question, right? That was exactly my thought. Is fishing a pay-to-win sport?
I think it could be. I feel like there's things you can definitely buy. Like, I don't really know that much, and I guess we'll get into it.
Yeah.
But like, there's things you can buy that make it easier.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like a fishing rod. That makes it easier.
First, step one, yeah.
Like, you know, if you're there with a net versus there with a rod,
Yeah.
I think you're probably going to have more luck with the rod.
You've also got different kinds of fishing. You've got like lure fishing, which I did a big deep dive in last night.
Oh, really?
I had no idea what it was. Like, apparently lures, you put them on your hook, you put them down in the ocean, and then you've got to like jig them and like make them look like real fish.
Right.
You can't just sit it there like bait.
Yeah.
Because they won't grab it. You've got to try to
make it look like a
You've got to
little
move
fish.
your rod to make it look like a fish swimming.
I feel like you'd be good at that kind of fishing, because I feel like that's what you were doing when we were there last
I was
week.
trying to. I just had it like, I was dropping it straight down.
Making it look alive, you know?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I do need to try. I'm yet to put a lure on my thing, but I will say, I'm also yet to go into like a fishing shop.
Yeah.
Like a BCF or something. I don't know where to go.
But see, like, BCF is like the Bunnings of fishing shops, it feels like.
Yeah,
It's like, I want to go into like
it
an
really is.
old-timey,
Like shit
like shack
fucking-
on the
yeah,
end of the,
yeah.
like, wharf.
I want to
John's
go.
tackle
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah,
I want
that
to go
sounds
where
like the fishing
there's
shop I
like
wanna
a
go to.
photo of like the owner of the shop with the biggest fucking fish.
That's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
And you're like, that could be me, man. Please
gonna
make me
look-
like me. As soon as I think of it, it's like the first thing that comes to mind is the fisherman in Stardew Valley.
Sure.
I
Okay.
think his name's Will. He's got his like little shack on the water, and you can go buy new rods and stuff like that from it.
I'm just looking. I've looked up fishing on Google Maps, and the closest place we've got is a place called Cast Wide Fishing Goods. In where is this? Arncliffe, so
not
pretty
bad.
close by.
That sounds like
that's good to know.
that sounds like a local sort of shop.
Yeah,
you know,
it
man.
is. Oh, wow. I didn't realize how much I'd like looking at fishing shops until I started. Have a look. Have a scroll.
Oh my god! Whoa!
I think we need a boys trip to.
Yeah, so
look at the reels.
if you want some
lures.
context, just look up Cast Side Fishing Shop in Arncliffe. Escape the ordinary.
Escape the ordinary.
Guys, that
Go
could
to
be me.
Castwide.
I could be escaping the ordinary. I could be.
This actually puts me on a point. So when I first started fishing and I got all the gear sat there for probably a year and a half before I finally went fishing.
I see.
All the gear, but
And-
no idea for a year and a half.
Exactly. Well, that was the thing. Like, talking about excuses, I actually had no idea where to fish because we're in Sydney.
Yeah.
I live in Camperdown.
Nah.
I don't know where water is.
I had the exact same excuse for like 2 years.
Do you know the funniest thing? Because like when I was talking to my parents about it last night, I was they were like, "Where did you fish?" And I was like, somewhere in Tempe. Like, no idea like where it was, whatever. And then my like
No, it's in
little
Tempe, I
sister's
think.
boyfriend just goes, "This place is just
my
full of
God.
water." It's literally the
Exact
one.
place.
He's like, I'm like, how like where did you get that? And he's just like, I just looked up fishing spots in Tempe, and that was the first thing that came up. And I
Nice.
was like,
There you
crazy.
go. There you
so
go.
yeah.
Well, I originally found Roselle, like down near the water
Roselle Bay,
because it's
yeah.
the only water that I could think of.
Yeah, it
so
makes
I
And
went,
it's got like a nice jetty there and everything.
yeah, it was a nice little spot.
Good view.
But before that, I was like, okay, bait. I need to get worms because every movie has ever shown worms.
Yeah.
So I was like, where do I buy worms? Where do I buy bait? I drove all the way from Camperdown to Drummoyne, which was not too far, but like
Far
still,
enough.
That was the closest one.
Far enough for me to make a face.
Try not for people to
Exactly.
be like, Tripmoyne?
And I didn't know anything. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I got ripped off. The guy sold me 4 red worms, maybe like 10 centimeters long each. I paid $17 for those 4
Oh
worms.
my god.
Where'd you go?
Because I could,
PCF, bro.
yeah, but I called maybe 8 petrol stations. I called like 3 tackle shops.
You know
None
what?
of them had bait.
There is actually
That's so weird.
a bait freezer at a servo in Tempe. up the road on Prince's Highway. Now that I
Probably
think about it.
prawns and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's like a little freezer.
That's what, when I was talking to my dad about it, he said you got to use prawns.
That's
It
what
depends.
everyone has
Okay,
told me.
so apparently, from my knowledge, it depends on what fish you're.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too. Because, like, obviously, if you're using prawns for fish that don't usually see prawns,
That's
like
it.
in a lake or a river, I guess.
They're gonna be like
What is
illegal
this?
alien.
Yeah.
But, like, you give that to the ocean fish, they're like, oh, blah, 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 blah.
That shit up.
That's breakfast, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, that's Tuesday.
Oh god.
Well, yeah. So we've been using, and I've never heard. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody using it before. But mind you, I'm not by any means in the fishing game.
No.
By any means. But we've been using raw chicken, right?
Yeah.
I think this is the introduction to our fishing game, right? Like, now we're in. Now we're making this podcast.
Yeah, we're in it now.
We're not posers anymore.
Yeah, we can't
you're true
make we simply cannot make this podcast and be like, well, we're done fishing. Never gonna go again.
Like, and so, yep, we're retired now. Who wants to pick the mantle?
I will say, like, my rod is like nearly out of like line on the reel.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sorry. Yeah, you
Just as
fucking
laughing.
managed.
Christ. Okay, and frankly, I'm not sure what I need to do.
Well,
from there.
Just keep tugging your rod.
Well, actually, when us three went, I got there, and my reel was completely empty of line. So
Oh, yeah.
guys,
Oh,
stole
yeah,
yours.
yeah.
You probably remember me filling it. But after that, I don't know if I really told you boys. It tangled every time I casted it because I didn't like. I think I fed it on too loose. Maybe you've got to
Sure.
like pull it or
In
something.
my brain, the way, because you know how you can like reverse the reel and it'll go like both ways.
just do that,
I think you
yeah.
just like hold it down somehow, or like maybe there's something in the reel where you put it and then you just go.
You just go
And
backwards.
you just wind
God,
it up.
fishermen are listening to this right now, like,
So many
Yeah, yeah.
people.
Well, that's something that I think Goose mentioned is the comment section of this podcast. We want it to be lively, right?
we want to learn from this.
we want any fishermen or anglers rather. Sorry.
seeking out advice.
Yeah, we want
Exactly.
we want your advice. We want your questions.
Yeah, we are merely just, amateurs when it comes
Yeah,
to the game of
exactly.
fishing.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you live in the inner west and you know where to fish,
Give us a
know.
spot. Give us a good spot because I do like the two spots that we've got, but they're just so far apart.
That's it.
You can't go like, oh, this spot sucks. So let's go to the next one or something.
Well, we're pretty close to the Cooks River here.
Very
so
close.
There
And
has to be something
Yeah,
close.
I did put in the Facebook page for Earlwood, like the Earlwood Facebook community page thing. I said any good fishing spots, and the first comment was like, to keep or to release, and I was like, I don't give a fuck.
Either.
I don't give a shit. It like, what's the difference? You know, I'm gonna release them. I guess like, I don't know. So and then everybody was just like Cooks River. I'm like it's a fucking river.
My brother in
Where?
Christ.
Where along the river? Like
Whereabouts,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we found this place.
What's the yellow box?
It's like a help thing.
Oh, cool.
It's the click
Sorry,
help
ignore me,
button,
guys.
so
I'm
yeah.
just concerned about something.
Goosey, have something up on
Yeah,
your
I was
phone?
going to say, when I actually bought my 1-year fishing license, so a lot
It's
of people
official.
don't know you actually need a fishing license.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can buy a 72
I've got
hour
one for sure. I've definitely got one.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
Yeah, I've got mine.
You know, it goes without saying. Yeah.
For any cops listening,
I have
I've
a
got
fishing
it.
license.
You should check it
Yeah,
next time you see me.
That's not mine. I'm holding on to it for a friend.
yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. If cops are listening, I'm not a fisher person. I don't fish.
Yeah, you're not an angler.
I'm not an angler. No, I'm just literally just holding the rod for someone else. You
Ain't
know?
no angler.
Yeah. At what point, like, I considered to be breaking the law of fishing? Like,
I think from the second you're holding the rod that's in the water, right?
Yeah, I
so
think
if it's in the water, that's like I'm officially fishing.
you're breaking the law.
I'm
yeah.
officially.
You're
I
officially.
think if
fishing.
you're there with intention to try catch a fish.
Oh, but what if I like just lie my way out of it? Like, sure,
I don't
I'm
think
there
you
with
can.
my rod, but it's not in the water.
There's no bait on it.
There's no bite in it. I've got a tackle box, and I'm like, I'm riding the view.
It's kind of like
here
it's
before I got
kind
here.
of like holding like a lit joint. It's like I'm not
Yeah.
smoking it.
Just hold it.
It's just lit and I'm holding it. Like
Yeah, that's so
What are
true.
you gonna
That's
do?
so
Arrest
true.
me?
But to be fair, I've heard like stories from friends from when I was younger that have actually gotten caught in without a
Wow,
license.
really?
And they literally just tell you to get on at $7 and they just stand there until you do it. Like,
pretty funny.
They're not concerned. They're not going to give
fucking-
you a fine. They want you to enjoy the sport.
The fucking
Can
tax
I
collectors.
ask
bro.
a question?
Wait, is it the police that?
Police?
Is it the police that approach you, or is it some like ranger?
I think the police can. I honestly didn't ask that question, but I'm assuming it's like a,
I have
a
like
ranger,
yeah.
right?
I guess like two questions. Like, why do you need a license? And to like, don't cops have something better to do?
Well, that's the thing. So when I go to Narooma, there is like a cop boat. that goes around like just like. But I've never been like pulled up. Like they've never like pulled up to me.
What's
and been
like?
what are you doing?
Why is it illegal to fish without a license?
Because it's like if there was a bush turkey in your yard and you just shot it, you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It's also the same as like, you know, you pay taxes to use the roads. You've got to pay for your license to take the fish out of the water.
So to answer your question, there's not a lot of sense to it.
No,
It's just it's as much
It's
sense as
like-
why there are like taxes that we pay for our roads and
Yeah,
stuff
for
like
like
that.
personal fishing,
That's
it's
it.
like
well,
why?
the 1 year license I bought, I think it cost me $34.
It's pretty
Like,
cheap.
It's
It's
really,
It's still just like you know, stop trying to take all my my money, you piece of shit.
to put it into space, like $34 is like 5 uses of the tolls. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly,
It's like
exactly.
Oh, but I mean, like, you know,
for a year.
that's arguably
year.
more questionable, isn't it?
Oh, the toll. Yeah, yeah.
If you go
no.
fishing 30 times, it's $1 each time you go.
That's true.
That's
Yeah,
not too
that's
bad.
true.
That's like, yeah, it's better than driving.
Yeah,
Exactly.
My mum said.
that's boy math right there.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine how much it would cost you to buy all those fish, you know?
True.
You got to think about that.
Very
Damn,
true.
saving money like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's assuming we're catching stuff.
And eating it, yeah. Well, which is something we should add. I don't think if I catch something out of like Roselle Bay, I'll eat it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if it's like, you know, research has gone into it and they're like, you can eat fish out of Roselle Bay, I would eat it.
Okay, you're gonna let somebody else do the math for you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Like, if other people have said, yeah, I've eaten a fish out of here and I didn't lose any toes, it's like, okay, all right, I'm in.
That's it.
I have stomach cancer, but that's from a different. That's from the
Completely
microplastics.
different situation. You're like,
Coincidence.
oh, cool, sweet.
That's from the credit card of microplastics I eat each year.
You're like, oh, I should stop eating those. Really got to change my habits. Yeah, no. Like, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, when you get the license, when you buy the 1 year license, they actually send you a go fishing booklet that you download to
I'm
your
gonna
phone.
fucking buy a license right now.
Yeah, I think
not?
that's a good idea.
I'm gonna buy a license right on the podcast because I definitely had one while I was fishing, but it was just like a day. I had them. Don't worry.
I'm going to say I'm
day
going to
one.
buy one for the sake of any cops listening, but cops click off now. I'm not actually going to buy it. Put it back
Well,
on my phone.
when you do buy it, they actually send you this map. And
Wow.
I'm sure if any of you want to know, it's called New South Wales Go Fishing New South Wales Hotspot
This is
Guide.
crazy because it's like when you sent me this, you sent me
Yeah.
this like PDF, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. This is more effort that has ever gone into the creative industry
May I-
from the New
I-
South Wales government.
So it's
Yeah.
pretty much the fishing hotspots, and it gave me more information than what Google gave me. I'll be honest.
Really?
It shows all the spots around. It's how I found Roselle Bay. That was the
Dude, this must be
closest
from
one I had.
ages ago. There's not even a harbour bridge anymore. Just a bit of fishing here.
But it shows you all the different fish that you can catch in
Oh,
that
there's the
area.
bridge.
It tells you like what's popular. Yeah, there you
Deepwater
go.
kingfish hotspot, squid. We can go.
Squid and catch.
We
squid.
should go right into the city and do some fishing. That would actually be pretty sweet.
Well, I reckon
There's
we go-
Roselle.
That's the Roselle Bay one, 31. Number 31 on the
on the
document.
Go Fishing brochure.
That's where we're talking about when we
Yeah,
say Roselle.
it's a good spot. It's a great spot. It's where I've caught my only fish that I've been so far. Thus
It's the
far.
only place
Arguable.
we've ever really caught.
What, the Sydney Inner West
Yeah,
map?
it's saying Balmain is the Sydney Inner West.
I don't know if it's
It's in the council, I think. So
yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
yeah. But
Too much Sydney North for me to look at here. I don't want
He's-
to look at it anymore. Oh, sorry.
But here's the thing that we'll talk about earlier. If you go down, it actually shows you the different types of fish you can catch, where to catch them, and what kind of bait they like.
Wow, that's fucking crazy.
See what I mean? Like, this is more effort than the New
Yeah,
South Wales.
like, it's
this
not
is
like-
this is,
Exactly.
I shit you not, I think this is the most effort I've ever seen the New South Wales government put into anything. Anything.
like,
exactly
Can
it.
you imagine if you like were a musician
And you paid
bought-
$34 and they were like, this is how you upload your music to Spotify. This is
Yeah.
how you get playlists.
That's
This
Like,
is how you
this
do
is
this.
a
Like,
list of all the venues that you could, like, you know,
yeah,
and
reach
the
out
type
to.
of music they put on regularly, and like,
yeah.
that'd be awesome.
And this is what bait to use, yeah.
I mean, obviously, I would like it more if it was free, but
That's
That's it.
And I mean, you could probably get this online for free. Let's be real.
Well, like he said, the Goose
I just
literally
sent
said,
it to
yeah,
you.
Goose
Like-
just sent me to this.
It's just like when you buy it, it's like download this while you're here. So it's not a big deal.
But like, yeah, it would be nice. Maybe there is something out there, but like, this is comprehensive. You know,
This
what I
is
mean?
great. And Diego, I've just realized here the fish we were trying to catch literally
They
yesterday
were the
morning.
yellowtail kingfish.
They don't take bait; they only take lures.
There
According to
you
this,
go.
so like there's information like that.
Okay,
These
that's
fish
helpful.
will not eat live meat, or like raw meat.
Raw meat.
They don't eat raw meat.
They'll only eat.
Vegans.
But then Brim, it says chicken breasts and prawns recommended.
Holy
so it's
shit.
like
Where do we catch bream?
Roselle Bay.
Let's go back.
Let's go. Come on, podcast over. Let's go.
Yeah, that's a good thing to say. I've only caught brim, and you've caught a flathead.
I've caught a flathead.
A
yeah.
flathead.
So what's
What did
flathead
you-
like?
Yeah, what does flathead likes chicken breast?
Yeah, I think that's what you used. Yeah.
It's just like me for real, bro.
Flathead liked just inhaling my entire hook deep in its rib
I think
cage.
flathead just go on the bottom of the water and just
And they
suck
just
off
go
everything that's in
yeah.
their path.
Yeah, big time. That's
Just
the,
like
that's the
me.
vibe I get. Yeah, just
Yeah.
like you.
It's what I do.
Along the ocean floor, just with your mouth open, just in Roselle Bay, just.
Especially chicken breast.
I will
Ooh.
say, So we've only caught. How many fish have you caught? Three.
Three. We've talked
Three.
about
Let's say three. Yeah.
I've
you've caught one?
I've caught one since starting again. Just you've only gone once, so
No, I
you
haven't
get a
caught
free
anything
pass.
yet.
It's
Fair
like,
game, fair
it's
game.
like it's like 3 in 10 chance, so you just got to go like.
about 10 more times probably.
Yeah.
I think Manning's gonna catch one next time.
Well, this is what I wanted to say is
Yeah.
the things that we've caught that aren't fish,
Oh, yeah.
and the things that we've seen in mostly Roselle Bay. So there was. Let me
I
start.
love the boot.
Let me start with like the most okay to the worst thing that I've seen at Roselle Bay.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, I think it was either you or me that caught a tennis ball.
Yeah, I think it was me. I think I caught a tennis ball that was like the whole tennis ball. Like it wasn't even
Like ripped
cut in
open.
half or anything. I caught an entire tennis ball and
With
the
a hook.
went through it.
Still bouncy?
No,
It was
very much
soaked,
no.
soaked, and we didn't really touch it that much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just
fair
kind of
enough.
dropped it back.
Okay.
I didn't litter. I put it.
Yeah.
Put it.
Also at Roselle Bay, there's this little dinghy underneath the jetty.
Oh my god.
and when we went last time, there was 2 pairs of shoes and a bottle of bleach.
Yep.
So somebody in
bottle of bleach?
somebody in Roselle is dumping bodies
Yeah,
for sure.
It was just like
Oh,
a
maybe-
whole, it was like a half bottle of bleach.
Are you sure they're not drinking a bottle of bleach?
Oh
and then
Jesus, that's much worse.
Although they had English breakfast tea there, so that's what they were drinking, and then
Yeah.
They mixed it in.
Yeah,
Tea
they
and
got
bleach.
2 bottles there. and
If
they
I'm
just
going
drink-
down, going down with style, you know?
Okay, and so far I've only been fishing with Manning once. Is that the only time he's gone? He's gone a few times.
no, I've probably been 3 times with
Yeah.
3 or 4 now.
I've only gone fishing with him once, and we didn't catch anything that night. But he did catch a pair of scissors,
He caught a whole pair of
a
scissors.
whole pair, just like hook around the loop of the like where.
I
the
I think
feathers go.
the hook went through and it was hooked back onto the line. It was like it was a 1 in a million.
It's
You couldn't have.
Yeah, it really goes to show that like fishing, like catching a fish, should be much easier, right?
Yeah.
Because like we've accidentally caught this crazy shit.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that guy on TikTok? He does like
have
magnet fishing
oh, I have.
into like a river, and he always catches this
guns
like
and-
like stuff he has to call the cops about, and they come and like investigate it.
Magnet fishing. That's not a bad idea.
Oh, I've heard. Well, like I haven't seen the TikTok, but I've heard on this podcast. There's like this couple that like does like has a business that they've made out of this because like the one time they discovered like it's like this like not great area and like they go scuba diving looking for people and things that have gone missing.
Crazy.
It's fucking scary as. Now, the worst thing I have seen while fishing is I thought it was a very big rat at first in the water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like
Oh,
a
yeah.
possum that had been like ripped apart
Oh,
by
whole
fish.
possum,
Yeah, like a whole ass possum just like floating around the jetty.
It was just like face down. It was morbid.
It was morbid.
Yeah, it was
Damn.
quite ridiculous.
Now my question is,
What
how
did
do
it
you-
taste like?
How do you fuck up that? Like, how does a possum fuck up that badly? Like, are they that stupid?
sure.
Where they just like, oh, the water, and then they just drown. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, people do that.
yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, that's not like a
Look at the guy with the bleach, bro.
drowning is not like a sign of low intelligence.
He just went. He went down the water, bleached his shoes, and cleaned them off. Actually, took a sip of his
Poor fella.
bleach instead of his English breakfast.
and then he fell in the
Yeah,
water.
he has a sip. He starts cleaning his shoes. He's like, "Why am I cleaning with English?"
And that
in the water again.
that brings me to my next point, and it's like about how you said like fishing is like so easy to make excuses as to why you're bad at it.
Oh, yeah.
My first thought when I saw that possum was like, that's why there's no fish. they're afraid of the dead possum. They
dead
They
possum.
don't like the smell,
They don't like the smell.
and that's why I didn't catch any fish that day. Not because I don't know anything about fishing.
It wasn't the off raw chicken. that we
Oh
were
my
using
god, that
either.
was bad.
that was pretty bad.
Oh my god,
Yeah, we tend to not use our bait and then we leave it for like a whole week until next week.
Gross.
But our bait is raw chicken.
Yeah,
So
it's
I've got
just
week-old
disgusting.
raw chicken in my
Yeah.
fridge.
and
we open the container.
I think that one time it like wasn't in the fridge for like a day or something like that.
bro.
Yeah, it wasn't in a container. It was just in a bowl. That's beyond the point. But I know.
I actually think keeping raw meat in like ceramic and glass is better than
You reckon?
in plastic. Yeah, it's supposed to be. Yeah.
See, I think
Facts.
Yeah.
if someone could tell us where to buy prawns, little tiny prawns, because we've taken prawns before.
Probably
Yeah.
like Joe's Seafood or something.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know
like
what Joe's
smaller
Se-
ones.
Well, yeah. Well, you recommended prawns, right?
Well, that's what my dad said, yeah.
Well, that's what everyone was telling me when I
Yeah.
said chicken breast. So Diego and I both bought prawns, and they just slip off the hook.
Yeah.
They do not stay on, and they don't seem interested, and we had no luck
They were,
with them.
yeah, because we got like 4 big like king prawns that we had cut up, and we were fishing for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And they were just gone.
They were gone. But it was like more than the usual amount of chicken breast we take.
Yeah,
So
100%.
We
well,
were just...
and by that first hour, we were getting fucking robbed by those fish.
That's so true.
They were just like tug, gone. Prawn gone forever. And then it's just like all that money is
Maybe
gone.
when people say prawns, maybe they mean more like your fried rice, small little chewy prawns.
Maybe,
you know?
yeah. The prawns that I've used, because like when you go to a fishing shop, they have like a bag of like smaller prawns. Like
Yeah.
prawns of multiple various sizes. Yeah.
But
I don't
yeah,
really know, to be honest.
I didn't know fishing was so popular as well. Like, I mean, I've only been once, but when we were down at that jetty, there was a point where there was like 12 people there.
Yeah. There was. I mean, there was like one group of like 6 or 7 kids.
Yeah, the Goonies, yeah.
The Goonies. Yeah. Stand by me.
Yeah. It was legitimately like, you know, Inner West, Stand By Me.
Yeah, and this poor kid was like walking home, and he like was trying to catch the bus home, and he'd never done it before. And so I hear him on the speakerphone. He's like, "I know how to get home."
And then there was like 2 German guys there. There was,
There were 2 German guys. I forgot about them.
People fishing with crabs.
and
as
then
well.
Yeah.
there was those 2 Aussie blokes, and they're like, "We got to respect their their claim to the wharf and shit like that." And I'm like, "Is that really a thing?"
I mean, we were there first
Yeah, I guess
Exactly.
so. But like,
and the longest, I believe.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Everyone...
I think that we left before the German guys.
Before the German
Probably.
guys.
But it's like once we had claimed the wharf, everyone who came respected us so
Yeah.
much more.
Yeah,
because
they were
we
like, "Can I
there.
go here? Can I go here?
Yeah.
Can I go here?"
And we're
like
like, no, I'm joking.
It's just as much yours as ours.
And we ordered pizza that day, and it was
Oh
excellent.
god, that was a whole fucking thing,
That was
bro.
lovely. Oh yeah, true. You couldn't.
Well, because
find-
the address that Uber Eats gave me was not the address that we're at.
It was like around the corner.
And so the guy's like, I'm here, like, but where are you guys? I can't find. I'm like, it's all right, man. Like, and I was like, let me open my map. So I looked at it. I'm like, yeah, no, we're on Holbeach Avenue, not on this, what is
London
it,
Street,
Bayview Street or whatever it was.
I guess jetties don't really have
And
addresses.
then he gets there and he's like, I'm so sorry. Look, I put it in the maps. I'm like, it's all right, brother.
He was stressed
It's
out.
so stressed out. But I understand.
Just
I've
to
been
go
there.
off topic for a moment here, I want to talk about Uber Eats drivers delivering pizza specifically.
Sure.
Because I wasn't here for this, but there was an incident the other week.
Oh yeah, that was the whole thing.
Yeah, I wasn't here for it. Do you mind walking us through
So
that?
yeah, Maddie had ordered some pizzas for us and what do you call it, her brother, and we were just like waiting for them, and then Maddie was just like, "Hey, so our Uber Eats driver got hit by a car,"
What?
and I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, he was on like a motorbike and like was in like an accident, like pulled out in front of a car, just like literally just up the road here, like."
Well, I was driving past. That dude made it maybe 10 meters before getting into an accident.
I was about to say like,
Far out.
when I say up the road, it was like right in, like Elwood Centre.
It was like
right out the front of Pizza Hut.
Domino, like the Pizza Hut is in
Or Domino's,
eyeshot.
I think it was Domino's.
The Domino's is in eyeshot of like it's literally like across the road.
So they had to like remake our pizzas and like
Wow.
get some.
I wouldn't mind
delivered.
road pizza.
Well, like sure.
Like give me that pizza as well.
Like it sounds bad. Like I'm sure he's fine now.
Yeah, he's fine. Well,
hope
he
so,
was because apparently Maddie said that there was a guy lying on the floor.
Well, that's what Maddie says. Well, I was like, oh god, like,
And it wasn't the driver. It wasn't the Uber Eats driver. It was the guy in the car. I think he had like a medical episode or something from
yeah,
hitting
that
this.
make kind of makes a bit more sense, I suppose.
Yeah,
But like the way Maddie explained it was like that he pulled out in front of this other car.
yeah. But he was fine apparently.
Yeah, that's wild. But yeah, like.
Yeah.
Like I felt bad, but at the same time I was like, can you imagine seeing that? Like, boom, like pizzas go flying, like pizza all over the
everywhere,
road. Like,
yeah.
is that how it happened, or did they like just like fall over
I think
the
it was
box?
fine.
Because like I would have eaten the pizza still. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
if it
think-
was still in the box, it's like give me that pizza as well, and I'll have it for leftovers.
yeah, absolutely.
Brush
Like
it off, it'll
I
be
got it
fine.
for free. Like I don't
Yeah.
give a shit.
It's just
Like,
gravel. Nothing I haven't eaten before.
yeah, exactly. It's in every meal anyway. So,
So, yeah, back to fishing, back to angling, back to angling.
Yeah.
I would like to find some more spots, right?
Yeah.
Well, actually, sorry. Let me refrain. I would like a boat.
Wow, we went up one level.
I would love a boat, but it's just so inaccessible, you know? About this, like,
Well, you know what we do have?
What do we have?
Within like 20 meters from here, a jet ski.
True. We can steal our landlord's jet ski.
Yes, so we know our landlords have a jet ski in the garage.
I've never seen somebody fishing on a jet ski.
Yeah, well,
There must be a reason for
we're
it.
about to change the game. Bro.
I reckon there's like a niche Facebook group for
Jet ski fishing. Yeah.
jet ski fishing in a west.
Just imagine like having like 3 hooks on your line and just like one hand on the jet ski, a rod out that way, and just catching fish as you go along.
Yeah, like
If you had a jet ski, you just get a net and hold it down while
Yeah,
you're riding.
yeah.
we're at the point now where people are like, there's no way people can innovate in fishing, and I'm over here like,
That's always what I'm thinking when I'm fishing. I was like, how do I make this easier?
Yeah.
But I think I keep saying it's like, oh, fishing's so easy. You know, it's like if you really want to learn, you just watch a YouTube video. I'm yet to watch a YouTube video.
nah, I'm sure I have some sort of like rich like second cousin who has a boat. I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I don't know a single person.
A friend, maybe I have like a friend whose dad has a boat or some shit.
Well, I will say just quietly, but
Maybe we should put the call out. Do you have a rich parent or cousin that has a boat? Let us borrow it.
I will say the first thing that came up when I put in fishing, where is it? Is foreshore fishing tours.
Oh.
I knew you would both make that noise.
For sure, bro.
Foreshore fishing tours. And it's got 4.7 stars. It's only got 15 reviews, but it's got
How much does it
4.7
cost?
stars.
Is it like a thing that you pay for and they take you out?
Yeah, on a boat, yeah. And look at these fish that these people are catching.
Yeah, that would be really fun to try, but I can also imagine it costs like an arm and a leg, you know?
Maybe I might. You guys pad. I'm just going to check the website.
Just check how much it costs, because if it's like,
Well, that's the thing. Like,
how much would you pay for like a fishing tour?
Well, that's the thing. Like,
I don't know. That's
Is
a
it
good
worth
question.
the money? Because you might not catch anything.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
like
thing.
I guess it's like an experience thing, and I mean like that's what we've been talking about the whole time. You know, fishing's
true.
not about catching stuff. It's about having fun.
And that's the thing.
And like to me, going out in a boat, casting a line in the water, that's already
So
like
this
so
guy,
fun.
this guy
Yeah.
who runs it. It seems like it's like one dude who runs it.
It's just one guy.
First review that I read, 5 stars. 5 months ago. I and my sons have known Maya in his capacity as a fishing guide for over a decade.
Wow.
Imagine learning from somebody who's been fishing for over a decade. He certainly knows his trade, is reliable, always helpful, and I regard him as a friend after our long association. Right?
Beautiful.
Good
Wholesome.
review. Good
Happy with
review.
that.
Look at this forehead.
Oh, God, it's triple your one.
Hey, double, sure. Double. Yeah. So this Maya guy he's the man apparently.
He's the guy.
Fuck.
Okay.
I'm gonna invest.
So-
Look into it.
He doesn't have a
so
website.
a fishing tour, I can imagine. You go out in a boat. How long do you fish for on a fishing tour?
And maybe it's like different hours.
Like, is that how much you pay for?
Yeah.
Okay, so say we
Time. Yeah.
pay for 3 hours. How much do you reckon that's worth to go out on a boat, fish in like the ocean? For
I don't
like
know.
3
Like,
hours?
how much would you be willing to go on somebody's boat with somebody who's been
Look,
fishing for
it-
as who is a fishing guy?
Like, what's the most you would pay?
The most I would pay is probably like $150.
150.
Well, I was gonna say $50 each.
Well, because
yeah, okay.
I'm trying to think like
I was thinking like $30 over here, but
well,
like
this is
yeah.
this man's business. Like he's got to have insurance to bring people out on that boat. He's got to tick all
Because
these boxes.
if it's just like a one-time thing you do, it's like you're not paying $50 every time you fucking go fishing.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
I think
I think the experience, teach a man to fish, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's worth a lot. Yeah.
teach about the fish type beat, bro. I reckon, I think max $50 is what I'd pay for that.
Yeah.
I feel like at that point, like maybe not max $50, but like I feel like if you're paying
Reasonable
$50
$50
for 3 hours to go out on a boat and fish, like that's like, at that point that's like 2 movie tickets. You know what I mean?
I will say, this dude, it's got to be more than $150 for 3 hours because he's only making like $50 an hour.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
For to have a boat and like a license and insurance and all that other shit. Like,
I think once it gets to like the $70-$80 mark each, that's where I'm like, is it worth it?
well, I personally think as a one-time thing, it's worth it.
If it was
Yeah.
just once, maybe.
Ops be warned.
If he's supplying like the bait and if he's supplying the bait and he's supplying rods and stuff like that, like that could be
yeah.
different.
True.
Maybe he's got like some fancy rods that are on the side of the
I might give him a
boat or-
call later today. And just
Yeah.
be like, what's the go, Maya? What's the
Let's go.
It's not
bit,
far.
bit of a left turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fly fishing.
Okay.
Yes.
What is it?
I think it's like fishing with like a reel on like a, I don't know.
Can you look it up?
Yeah. What is fly fishing?
Because like I was just thinking about it and I was like trying to think of like other types of fishing and stuff like that.
Fly fishing, yeah.
And
I
that was the
think
first thing that come to mind. And I'm like, what is fly fishing? Is it insinuating that I'm catching flying fish, or am I?
Fly fishing, angling technique.
Oh,
So it's like, I think it's like just line that you use. Fly fishing is an angling technique that uses an ultra lightweight lure called an artificial fly, which typically mimics small invertebrates such as flying and aquatic insects to attract and catch fish. Because the mass of the fly lure is insufficient to overcome air resistance, it cannot be launched far using conventional gears and techniques. So specialized tackles are used instead, and the casting techniques and are significantly different from other forms of angling.
So it's like you're catching fish on the surface instead of like underwater.
Yeah.
Shallow water kind of.
They're gonna like jump up and like try and catch the bugs, but it's not actually bug, it's a lure. You idiot,
little
stupid
Yeah.
fish.
Because I've seen people, like videos of people fly fishing, but it doesn't really explain what it is. And it seems really quick. Like they cast it out and then 3 seconds later they're bringing it back.
So
into the
it's
fish.
basically, I think, from my understanding, it's like reelless fishing.
Right.
So no reel, it's just like a line on it, like that goes through a rod, and you just fucking fling that thing and hope for the best, I guess.
You
I don't know.
pull it back.
And it's like only lures. That's what defines it.
Yeah.
Sure.
God, there's no better feeling than casting a rod. I know, like we're in the end game of the episode now, and that's like, you know, that's like an opener. But like, boy, I just love casting.
Yeah.
Like it's like trying to get as far as I possibly can.
Yeah,
So
for me,
much
like
fun.
So satisfying.
For me, it's like so much of the sport, and it's like obviously not like a tactic that needs to be used every time, and
No, not at
probably not
all.
a good idea. But when I'm fishing, I'm just casting as hard as I can.
yeah, like right over my
yeah.
head, like
Yeah, I feel like I've gotten better at it. Like since like our last one, by the end of that session, I was like,
For sure.
I think I've got getting the hang of this.
I think we're getting better at precision and aim. Like,
yeah, that's
yes,
100%.
Here's the thing we haven't told you yet. No, unless Diego has filled you in. We haven't told the audience yet. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Me and Diego went yesterday.
Yeah.
And these schools of fish started showing up in
Yeah,
the same
kingfish,
spot.
yeah.
Kingfish in probably groups of up to 15, 20, something like
Yeah,
that.
and sometimes
way.
sometimes you'd see like 100 of them in one fucking
Yeah,
spot.
they would just show up. And this was more up on the bridge, not the jetty itself.
like outwards. Yeah.
Yeah, outwards a bit more. And we were like honestly trying to cast into these pools of fish. And I noticed by the end, my accuracy was like getting
Just
pretty
getting on
spot
it, yeah, 100%, yeah.
You get a feel for it after a
Oh,
few weeks.
you remember when we went fishing? I cast my rod out and I just like
Hit the boat?
hit the boat cover like just so instantly. Did it again on a different boat. Yeah, because I'm like in my head, I'm like fish like structure. They might be in the boat.
I remember we're
I
talking
cast
about
and it just goes straight in this motherfucker's boat.
I'd love to hear some insight from the audience as well in the comment section. How we'll like talk about how did people get their boats from out the water? Like,
Yeah.
which I come to the conclusion they must have something like a hook attached to the trailer of their car, so they like back their car in and they get the hook and they like walk it off. But then they still have to like swim out to the boat. Right?
I don't understand.
They
I don't
must.
get it.
Isn't that little boat that's under the jetty?
Yeah.
I reckon they must be able to access that.
Ah,
and I
okay.
reckon that's how they get out. They've got like a paddle and they just go boop, boop, boop.
Okay, that makes
But-
sense.
but-
I
But
think
then how do they bring the boat back?
How do they bring the
that's
boat back?
it. That's exactly it.
Either way, I think it'd be fun if they just brought a fishing rod and it's fine.
And that's the
Reel
warm
the
up.
whole
That's the
boat.
warm up. You get like a specialized like rubber hook thing, and you just fucking fling out your boat.
And you just like reel your boat in.
Yeah,
Oh,
and the
that's
more
so
experienced fishes are parked further out.
Yeah.
They have bigger hooks.
Well, you hit a few
that's
boats,
funny.
now you just need to hook them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
around
Well,
it.
that's the thing, right?
could
It's like
steal a boat.
Can I hotwire a boat? Is my next question. Because it's like
Boat heist.
I've been there twice. None of those boats have been used.
Yeah,
They're just sitting there.
Ah, dude, let's not get started about boat owners, bro. Use your boats, guys.
Use your boats.
Like, so instead of like once a year, you pieces of shit.
Use them.
like-
Exactly.
Fucking use them.
Be
If you
like-
can't afford the petrol, don't get a fucking boat.
You should be like, what's his name? What?
Maya.
Maya, be
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Maya.
Give the little guy a chance, eh?
Use your boat for good.
Use your boat for good. I think that's a great place to end the podcast.
think it
Don't
is.
leave it on the lake for like four years without
Yeah,
being
just
touched.
without being touched.
Use it for good.
Seriously, none of those boats moved. All in the exact same
They were
spot.
all the same spot, and you're so right.
Cringe.
Cringe as. Use your boats for good, people.
That's all I gotta fucking say.
Anyway, thanks for having us on your Rodcast, Juice.
Yeah, that's
Juice?
alright. Juice.
I get it pretty often. Don't worry. I get moose and juice
Oh
and goose.
god, I don't
and
know how I got confused because usually I say Joss
Joss and,
and
goose.
and your name is Goose and I said Juice.
All right, Diego.
Yeah. Oh god.
Jiggy.
Too many J names.
Jiggy.
Jiggy.
Jiggy from the plug. Piggy from the Doug.
Yeah,
From the
nice. That's great. All right, cool.
That's a good one.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Leave all your angling questions and advice in the comments section.
Yeah, we want just we want to absorb information here.
Yeah.
And I hope this inspired people with tackle boxes to actually get out
Yeah,
and use them.
if your tackle box is collecting dust, just like there is a fishing spot nearby you probably.
Give it to us.
Our
I'm
spot,
joking.
the spot at Princess Highway is like 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
So good.
Well, we should put out that'd actually be pretty fun.
Let's put a call out.
Yeah, every
Yeah.
time we go fishing, we should say we'll be at the jetty in 30 minutes. Come if you want to fish.
Yeah,
We
come
should
in
do a
here.
fish meet.
Yeah.
Like we should start like I'm literally gonna start putting out my story like hitting up the jetty in 30. I'll see you guys
anybody
there,
want to go
question mark?
fishing? Yeah. I do have like
then maybe
two,
someone
I do
will show
have
up.
like 2 or 3 spare rods. But I need reels. I don't have enough reels.
True.
We'll go shopping.
Really?
We'll have to go to bloody Castwide.
Yeah, Castwide. Yeah, we need to go to Castwide.
Castwide.
Not to
Yeah.
BCF. Fuck BCF.
Lots of things to follow up on this podcast. Yeah.
Might be a part 2.
Yeah.
An update.
Oh, part 2. That's an interesting
6 months from
proposition.
now.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
many fish have we caught?
Yeah. That's a great idea.
Use your boats for good.
Yeah. See you in 30 at the jetty.
See you in 30 at the jetty. What did we just say? I had it.
Go to
Castwide.
Castwide.
Oh yeah, go to
Shop at
Castwide.
Castwide.
Shop at Castwide. Fuck BCF. Alright.
Yeah.